Yes, sir. Yeah, man. We in the backyard. Just have a little conversation today. Just give you something to think about. We're gonna talk about using the blockchain to preserve artwork. So let me get in here, cut on the AI. Swati Krab, Kunsa Baidi Mai.
So Whitey ka sa Baidi ka Klopun ka?
D. All right, so I got a question. We talk about this in English. I got a question. Today I want to talk about using the blockchain to preserve artwork. So before we get into the conversation, like, what do you think about that?
Great topic. Blockchain can help lock in provenance, track ownership, and support artist royalties over time, which is pretty powerful. What are you most curious about? The preservation angle, artist income, or something else?
Nah, just preserving the artwork on chain, just the visibility, just it being able to be seen 100 years from now, 150 years from now. Just the aspect of preserving the artwork. Basically, I'm not really worried about the income. I don't care about the money aspect of it. It's more so just all visibility.
Let me check on that. Yeah, that's actually a very strong use case. Fully on chain art can stay viewable as long as the chain exists. No single server that can just go offline. It's not a perfect crystal ball, but it's about as close to a decentralized archive as we have right now. And that permanence is the appeal.
Yeah, I think the just being able to have it outlast the actual person that created it is the crazy part. I think like the Mona Lisa, that's been hundreds of years since it was like originally created. And I think like the blockchain will afford the same opportunities to artists that are into that kind of thing.
Exactly. It's like a digital time capsule, except globally mirrored and not tied to a single institution's budget. That's the real preservation angle.
I think just putting your art on chain and then having a regular, or not even regular, just like a digital, and then, well, off chain and on chain, we'll put it like that. I think having an on chain representation and an off chain representation of your artwork is, I wouldn't say it's going to be mandatory, but it's like, why would you not do it? Like, what are you losing out on doing? Like, and I think that like over the years, next decade or whatever, the narrative, I mean, that could, I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I'm thinking this through. I think that's likely, but not guaranteed. Keeping both on chain and off chain versions gives you flexibility plus a verifiable record. But whether it becomes standard depends on cost, tooling, and cultural buy in. Still, as a personal practice, it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I think I don't know. That's why I was using the word mandatory loosely, and the word standard probably would go better in like that place. If not standard, normalized, something along those lines. I mean, I really don't see any downside to putting the artwork on chain and off chain. It just goes back to the visual part. Like, okay, like putting it on chain just gives it the ability, because if you put it on a painting or a piece of paper, what happens if there's a fire in the building and now the painting, the original, is destroyed, but you still have the original digital one.
Right, let me check on that. I think that's a strong framing. It's basically a redundancy for culture. Not everyone will do it, but using on chain as a durable record alongside off chain copies is a thoughtful way to guard against loss and keep work legible across generations.
Facts. I think I mean, I got art on chain, on the blockchain, on Base, Ethereum, uh, Bitcoin. I'd like to maybe do maybe two more collections, but not on those chains. Like, what do you think? Like, would you put your art on like, would you make an inscription like Bitcoin inscription, or would you go with the Ethereum if you are going to if you wanted to put your art on chain? Which one would you pick?
Hmm. If I were focused on longevity, I would probably diversify instead of betting on just one. Ethereum for the deep art ecosystem, Bitcoin if you want that permanence vibe, and maybe something like Base for its low cost community layer.
Well, no,
But
that's
honestly,
what
more
I
than the
did.
chain,
That's what I did. I don't want you to just mimic what I said. I want you to have your own opinion and say, I would pick Bitcoin for X reason to host my art. I would pick Ethereum for X reason to host my art because there is a difference, and in each chain, the way you use them and the people that interact with them. I mean, like, there's a difference between a Ethereum holder and a Bitcoin holder. Probably, probably not. The overall is probably not too far off, but there'll be distinctive differences between the two.
let me check on that real quick. Fair point. If I had to pick just one, I would choose Ethereum, but not because it's the oldest or the cheapest, but because of the cultural network around it. I think long term about people finding and caring about the work. If my priority were absolute minimalism and staying power, I'd lean Bitcoin for its conservative culture. I guess you could say that communities signal different values. Ethereum collectors often prioritize experimentation and new forms, and Bitcoin collectors often lean toward permanence and historical weight. I wouldn't duplicate the exact same piece everywhere. I'd make each collection unique to its chain culture, but that's just a curatorial choice.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a safe analysis. I mean, that's what most people do or projects do if they launch multiple collections on different chains. They'll, the artwork or maybe what they're trying to accomplish, or so there's, like I said, there's something different for each chain. I mean, but then there's the bandwagoners too, and then there's the dedicated, people that just like the art and invest and stuff. So I don't know, man. It's like a mix up of all. I wouldn't even say all of many factors that But yeah, man. Let's get back to the original question. Using the blockchain to preserve your artwork from like an artist standpoint. I think that is just like an incredible tool, and the stigma is right now is NFTs are a scam and the blockchain is a scam and it's used for money laundering. Like, I'm pretty sure all of those things hold some kind of truth. Like, not everything is a lie, not everything is the truth. Like, there's percentages and things missing in each equation, but what I'm saying, that the I just always go back to the blockchain is not the scam. You got scammed on the blockchain. Like, the infrastructure isn't the scam. You got scammed on the infrastructure. So there's people getting scammed within the infrastructure. There's people finding financial freedom throughout the infrastructure. There's people hosting the artwork within the infrastructure. There's a lot of things going on the blockchain. Is just like, it's hard to be aware of all those things, but from an artist standpoint of view, like, I don't know, man. Give me some. I mean, what are some bad things? I mean, what the blockchain can't host the picture. Like, you can't find the artwork. Like, I don't know. Like, I could just be looking at this from a biased point of view, but I mean, I really don't see too many negatives.
Let me check on that. So, I think there are real trade offs, just different from the usual hot takes. Things like on chain storage costs for high res files, uncertainty about which chains thrive decades out, and the challenge of discoverability, making sure your work is findable and viewable as tooling evolves. But I think your core point stands. The medium itself isn't a scam. people scam on top of media. So, if an artist cares about legacy over speculation, on chain archiving can be a meaningful tool and one that shifts the conversation from price to preservation. That feels worth having, I think.
I want to talk about that third thing you said, which was like being found. And it's like the blockchain is like a huge ocean. It's hard to be found, quote unquote speaking. But if you have the off chain and you're doing things in your city, and local people know what you're doing, or just like the people in the real world, not just on crypto Twitter or in the digital world, you know what I'm saying? You could use that one-to-one backing and get some momentum going. And you could do it vice versa too. If you have some traction going online, you can make you a physical location and funnel things into that situation. And then as far as like the storage fees, I guess that could be one downside, paying monthly or yearly storage free fees, because like on a piece of paper you just draw it. It's not really any storage fees unless like you're like paying to have it like hung up somewhere, or maybe you got to go through a certain process to preserve the artwork on the canvas, like. But I don't know, like, give me something to go off of based on what I just said.
Yeah, I'm checking. I think you just tied together two things people often separate: preservation and discovery. The real world presence you described, pop ups, local ties, social, it feeds the on chain record and the chain feeds back, kind of like a loop. And storage costs, there is an echo there. Physical art has hidden conservation costs over time, and digital has explicit storage or transaction costs. A practical stance is layered resilience. Keep source files backed up, maintain an accessible off chain presence, and use on chain as an additional anchor. Each layer covers the others.
Facts, facts. It's like one hand washes the other. It's hard to do. It's hard to do things with two right hands. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to make up an analogy on the go. But nah, man. I think the biggest thing is just, if you're an artist and you have a piece of art and you really like it, I mean, I don't think that it would. I don't know. I think it would be worth taking the extra few dollars you have and trying to preserve it on chain, because anything can happen. Like you could lose it. I mean, yeah, you could take a picture and then even that picture, you could lose the picture. Not saying like, what I'm saying, not saying the picture can't be lost on chain, but I don't know, man. Just another, like you said before, archive system. It's another way just to index your art and keep track of stuff. So, well, I think we've been talking about 10 minutes or so, and I don't know, man. Let's get a recap. Let's get a recap on these the highlighted points, as far as just like preserving your artwork on chain.
Sure, let me pull those together. I think we landed on a few core points. One, preservation and discovery are different. Off chain efforts create visibility that can loop back to the on chain record. Two, on chain and off chain art rivals, they're complementary layers. Think backups plus public record. Three, costs and tooling are real, and they're analogous to physical conservation costs. Four, the tech isn't the scam, misuse happens on top of it. And my bottom line, treat blockchain as one more preservation layer, not the only one.
No, I like that last saying. Treat the blockchain as a preservation layer and not the only one. Yeah, man, it's just because even when I was younger, back in like high school and stuff, I liked to draw, and I had a binder full of a bunch of drawings, and I have no idea where that is today. But granted, the blockchain wasn't around on the scale that it is today. But man, there's the younger people out there, man. They could just, man, go crazy and put all their stuff on chain, and just losing art is it's low key becoming a thing of the past, because there's really There's no reason, like, I don't know, man. It's crazy just putting your art on the blockchain. Like, that shit is crazy.
Yeah, you're talking about something pretty profound, keeping the thread unbroken between generations. If on chain becomes just another quiet way to reduce cultural loss, that's a big deal. Not hype, just longevity. Like giving your work a chance to outlast accidents and time.
I really don't want to go too far off topic, but even the like back in the Egyptian days and the Sphinx, and even the Roman days, like they all used artwork, and they put artwork on pots, and they put artwork on the caves and all kinds of shit, and it lasted hundreds of years. Like, just imagine the amount of information that would have not been lost. Granted, it was immortalized on the blockchain or some kind of infrastructure like that. And I just like say that to tie in with the Mona Lisa and shit like that. Like, all of those, like even with the emojis in your cell phone, like all of it's from artwork. Like, I don't know, man. I think it's just the artwork, the blockchain, preserving that stuff. Like, I don't know, man. I think the next few hundred years are not going to be the same as the hundreds of years behind us, just based off the simple fact of the archiving system on chain. Like, there was never a system like that where things could be stored publicly. Like, maybe there was like some secret CIA room like in the basement somewhere with hundreds and thousands of files, and and that's how they were being stored. But even to say like that stuff could be altered, like unless you're like the originator of a specific document or you were there documenting a specific event.
Okay, let me check on that. Yeah, I hear the bigger arc you're pointing at. Every era leaves traces, but a lot disappears. Widespread digital replication changes the odds. It's not immortality guaranteed, but it's a serious step toward durability. And that feels different from market talk. It's about cultural memory, giving your work more than one life in more than one place.
So people will say, "Oh, the NFT, it's worth $1 million," or "Oh, the NFT, it's worth $100." Like, really, they're like priceless because just timestamp from X amount of years ago. So even when 70 years goes by, and people will look back at these NFTs, and I don't know, man. It's a crazy. I don't know, man. It's just a crazy system. I think that as time goes on, like shit's just gonna be normal just to put your artwork on chain, and everybody will have on chain and off chain, um, you know, representations of stuff. Even something as far as like a car. Say you bought a car from Ford, and they gave you an NFT with the picture of the car and all that stuff, and it's in your wallet. I mean, anybody could. There's all kinds of use cases for it, but it's just a matter of time until it gets into everyone's hands. I think that's enough, man. We'll come back with another video, and we'll talk about preserving artwork on chain. Um, from the last time I asked you to give a recap again, but don't bring up any of the topics you brought up before.
Okay, here's a fresh angle without going back to that earlier summary. We talked about time itself adding meaning, how a piece's context might matter more than a price tag decades later, and that on chain records can widen out into other domains beyond art. We also touched on how normalization could just mean artists quietly adding another habit to their process, and how future generations might engage with the work through that historical lens. I think that's where we left it this time.
All right, that's enough for today, and see, I'll come back later and talk more about this topic. You have a good rest of your day.
Sounds good. I really enjoyed this one. It's a thoughtful take that more people should have. Have a great rest of your day and talk soon.
Well, I'm telling you, she be cooking, bruh. She definitely be, you know what I'm saying, get the mind going. Now, all this stuff that, we be talking about, there's no 100% yes and there's 100% no. There's no none of that. I just make these videos just to give you something to think about. But anyways, man, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I'll see y'all in the next one.